What is up, boxing champions? In this video I'm going to teach you boxing just in 10 minutes. If you don't believe me, stick till the end of the video and I promise you by the end of the video you will know how to do the basics in boxing, which will take you at least a couple of months in the boxing gym to learn. This is for free. I'm giving you free information on how you can learn the basics from just at home or anywhere you are in just 10 minutes. I'm going to take you through your stance, your punches, your footwork, your combinations, the necessary combinations you need as a beginner, and in the end we're going to talk about the guard and what type of guards there are and how you can use your guard as a defensive but also as an offensive tool. First of all, let's talk about your boxing stance. This boxing stance is something that should be learned properly from the beginning of your boxing career. Let's talk first about how far your feet should be apart. There are many different approaches to this point, but the most common width should be shoulder width or slightly wider than shoulder width. If your stance is too narrow, you are most likely going to be pushed over in the ring and you will lose a lot of stability. Also, the amount of power you are able to generate is limited. On the other hand, we have the wide stance. You can see some boxers using the wide stance in professional boxing, but the biggest problem about the wide stance is that you're taking away from your height. Getting into a wide stance will take height from you, then you're giving away your advantage of being taller and having more reach. Now let's talk about your elbow positioning. The elbow positioning is one of the most important things considering your boxing stance. Your elbows should be glued to your body and not be moved away from there whenever you're punching or guarding yourself. This will not only provide you more defense to your body, especially your liver, but also the fact that you're going to throw punches from your elbows tucked inside will give you more range of motions, which will lead to more punching power in your single punches. Your fists should be clenched and slightly bent forward. This will provide you more wrist stability and also will help you to land your punches with the right part of the knuckle, which I will explain later on. So if you have figured out your basic stance, later on in your boxing career you can adapt your stance depending on how your boxing style is going to develop. Since we figured out our stance, let's talk about the punches. Let's start with the jab. The jab is arguably one of the most important punches in boxing. If you are learning your jab incorrectly from the beginning on, you will have a lot of problems later on developing your proper jab. For the jab, you're going to maintain your stance, you're not going to move your feet at all while throwing the jab. And the most important thing, as told earlier, you should have your elbow tight on your body from where you're going to throw your jab. The jab movement is going to be straightforward with rotating your fist so that the punch lands with the first two knuckles of your fists, from your pointing finger and from your middle finger. These are the knuckles that should be connecting when you're throwing the perfect jab. Your arm should be completely straightened out so that your chin is using your shoulder as a protective cover. The three most common mistakes are the flared out elbows. The second common mistake while jabbing is the lazy jab. This mistake should be fixed as soon as possible when you start with boxing, so make sure that after you're jabbing you take your lead hand immediately back to your chin without giving your opponent a chance to counter. The third common mistake while jabbing is the leaning forward. A lot of people are leaning forward while jabbing because they're trying to close the distance. Instead of leaning in, take your legs with you and throw the jab while moving forward. So now, as we know how to jab, let's talk about the cross. The cross is one of the most important punches in boxing considering its power, but also one of the most complex ones. The complexity in this punch comes from how you translate your power from your feet into your arms and shoulders. When you're throwing the cross, you should be sitting in a light squat. From this light squat, you're rotating your right feet as if you want to kill a cigarette lying on the ground. This type of motion will help you translating your power from your feet into your leg and from your leg into your hip. The next important part is your hip rotation. The hip rotation is what will make your cross deadly or useless. You should focus on applying the translated power from your legs into your hip so that your right hip comes to the front while changing your position with your left hip. At the end of the punch, your hip should be facing towards your opponent. While throwing your cross, you should instantly make it a habit to leave your left hand at your chin at all times. The knuckle area which should connect with your opponent is the same as with the jab one. It's the knuckle area from your pointing finger and your middle finger. Let's talk about the three common mistakes which happen in the cross. The first big mistake is not rotating your feet. The second big mistake is hitting the right cross without rotating your hip. This one's called the lazy cross, and these people are usually afraid of overcommitting, so they don't really rotate their hip into the punch. This mistake will make your cross absolutely useless because you will have no power translation into the punch, so you can just jab instead. And the third mistake, the same as for the jab, the leaning forward. Don't lean forward, because you will not only bring yourself in a dangerous position to your opponent, but you will also lose stability, which will lead to you getting countered without having any possibilities to counter yourself or step back. To practice these punches, I would suggest you getting in front of a mirror and just throwing single punches in front of the mirror for at least 50 times. Watch yourself closely, watch your technique, film yourself from the outside and notice every single mistake you're doing and try to improve it right afterwards. It is very important that you notice the mistakes early so they don't get programmed into your mind, which will later on be difficult to get out of your memory. If you have thrown enough single jabs and single crosses, you can start combining the jab and the cross together to get a feeling for the smooth transition between your hips and your legs and the rotation overall. So now, since we have covered the punches, let's talk about the basic footwork. I'm going to teach you the basics, everything you need for the beginning right now when you start out with boxing, because everything else will be too complex, and I will explain it to you in next videos coming up on this channel. So if you like this video so far, make sure to like and subscribe to not miss out on any other boxing helping videos. For the footwork, we need to start with the front and back movement. To make it as simple as possible, when you're moving forward, your front foot moves first. When you're moving backwards, your back leg makes the first move. It is very important to keep your stance at all times. For example, if you're moving with your front leg first, then you're automatically getting out of your stance because you're getting wide stance. To instantly balance out this wide stance, you should follow up with something, for example, a right cross, to bring your right leg forward to get as fast as possible into your normal stance. I would suggest you all to practice this one in front of the mirror as well. Just walk forwards and backwards all the time. You can also move 2 times forward, 2 times backwards, or 3 times forward and 3 times backwards, just as much as you need to feel comfortable with the back and front movement. When you finally feel comfortable with moving forward and backwards, let's add the side steps to it. For the side steps, we apply the same rules as before. When we are moving to the right side, we are moving our right leg first. If we are moving to the left side, our left leg is going to move first. A common mistake in this movement is that people are rotating their upper body too much. You should focus on facing your torso towards your opponent at all times. Therefore, you can use your arms to straighten them out and then move to the sides without rotating your arms to the left or to the right. This will give you an indicator of if you're rotating your upper body too much or if you're just doing fine. The best drill for moving forward, backwards and to the sides is the so-called cross drill. During the cross drill, you're going to do 1 step forward, 1 step backward, 1 step to the left and 1 step to the right. And you're going to repeat this type of pattern for at least 20 to 30 times until you're feeling comfortable in moving in all directions. So if you've came so far into the video, you already know how to throw the jab and the cross and how to move to the fronts and to the sides. Now that we have learned this all together, we're going to combine it and apply it into combination punching. For the combinations, we're going to start with an easy 1-2 combination. In this combination, we are going to use our legs to push forward while throwing the 1-2. Here it is very important that you're moving with the same leg as the arm that you're punching with. For example, if you're moving forward with your left leg first, your jab, your left arm should be punching at the same time as your leg is moving. A bonus tip I can give you is checking your stance after every punch. So make sure to pause after every combination and check if the stance you're in currently is the stance you're trying to practice. The next combination is going to be the 1-1-2, the jab cross. Here it is very important that when you're throwing the second jab, that your back leg is following up to not put your feet too wide out of your boxing stance. After your second jab, you're going to throw your right cross as you've done before to finish up the combination. Practice this combination in both directions until you feel comfortable moving forwards with the 1-1-2, the same as you're moving backwards with the 1-1-2 as well. The third combination is the 1-2-1, the jab, cross, jab. This is also a basic combination that you should be learning if you want to be successful in boxing. Make sure to rotate your hips in every punch while doing this type of combination, because you will lose a lot of power if you don't. These are also the most common used combination in amateurs and in professional boxing. A lot of people are overcomplicating boxing, but the straight punches are one of the most important punches to master, so make sure to practice these combinations until you feel 100% comfortable using them in sparring or even in a fight. Later on, you can also add the hooks and the uppercuts, but this is a topic for a different type of video. At the end of the video, let's talk about the boxing guard. As I've already mentioned before, your elbows should be always tight at your body and your hands should be at least at your chin level. If you're under pressure, you should learn the high guard. During the high guard, you should take your gloves at your eyebrows level so that you can watch through your gloves like through a binocular. This will not only protect your face and your chin area, but will also help you to see your opponent through your gloves. While having your guard up, you should be able to move to the left and to the side with your upper body. If you are getting punched to the body while having a high guard up, instead of pulling your guard down, I would suggest you going into a light squat and bringing your whole upper body on the lower level so that you're not opening up your head area for punches. These were the 5 basics that you should be learning as a boxer when you start out with boxing from at home or from your local gym. I would still always recommend you visiting a good boxing gym if you have one nearby, because a coach will always watch over you and give you the best tips to progress as fast as possible. But if you don't have the chance, just make sure to use these tips to progress from at home. It is very important to learn from the beginning on the right stance, the right punches, the right footwork, the combination, and the right guard. These 5 topics are very complex, and I'm going to teach these 5 topics more in other videos in a more detailed way, so make sure to like and subscribe to the channel to not miss out on any boxing information videos and boxing tutorials. Thanks for watching, practice at home, and I'm seeing you guys in the next video. Peace out.